Hello, happy Friday, everybody. We are going to discuss now the Champions League draw. It was out just a few hours ago. Team Bankroll is here. We've got Martin Green. If you want to go and find him on Twitter, Martin W. Green is his Twitter handle. And we've got Alex Need for Tips. It's his Twitter handle as well. Interesting fixtures. Okay, so I'm going to read them out for our viewers who may not know them yet. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund versus Monaco, Juventus versus Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid versus Leicester, playing on the 11th and 12th of April. There are 2 matches on each one. First of all, I'm going to start with you, Martin. Anything that stands out to you?
It's a really interesting draw. I think the 4 best teams have all been drawn against one another. Juventus v Barcelona and Bayern versus Real Madrid. But the game that really looks interesting to me is probably one of the weakest of them, but Dortmund versus Monaco. I'm hoping that could be a really great game. I'm anticipating a goal fest because both teams are free scoring, not particularly strong at the back. So any sort of both teams to score over 2.5 goals betting on that game looks really interesting, and I actually think Monaco can qualify. I've been very impressed with them, so that stands out. I think this might be a step too far for Leicester, and the other 2 could go either way, really.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to interesting you say that about Monaco to qualify. I'm going to get to their odds to qualify in a second, and we've got some interesting odds. Alex, what is your sort of first impressions of the draw?
Yeah, unbelievable draw. Exactly like Martin, he was reading my emails. We talked about earlier on Skype because we have a conversation going on Skype every time, every day, on daily basis. We're talking about bets, matches, and everything. So exactly after the draws, what happened is that Dortmund and Monaco game seems the perfect game in my opinion. I was only hoping to see that game going on. And it's a virus going on. Martin is taking Alex virus. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in that match. Our friend that Mika Johnson that is watching right now knows what I'm saying. He always says that I'm giving this kind of tips, but it's because I like them, and most of the time they are winners. So yeah, that is the most attractive match from the quarterfinals. But also the other 2 ones are really good. Imagine that we have Bayern with Real Madrid and Juventus versus Barcelona. Incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Martin summed it up right. Sort of like the 4 top teams that pitted against each other. Let's talk about obviously the remaining Premier League team, Leicester against Atletico Madrid. Would you say the draw has been somewhat kind to them? Obviously, again, they start on the road, which is probably the best advantage for them because they know that they are the strongest at home, and they'll know how many goals that they will need to overturn any deficit that they may have. Is there a chance that Leicester, because I was sort of saying if they beat, well, I predicted them to qualify, but I was like, but this is where it stops, the quarterfinals. Could they make it to the semis, or is Atletico Madrid too strong? Martin, what do you think?
It's not beyond the realms of possibility. If you look at the Spanish league this year, Atletico are actually below Sevilla. But Atletico have just been so strong in the Champions League for many, many years now. They've been twice, and they really know how to get the job done in this competition. They're a lot more experienced than Sevilla, so I would be a bit nervous if I was Leicester. I think they would probably have preferred to get a team like Dortmund or someone like that, or maybe Monaco, where they could really go and slog it out and have lots of goals, or they could have gone for a really glamorous draw against Barcelona or Real Madrid. So I don't think it's the ideal draw for them. I think it'll be a close one, but I'd fancy Atletico to get out of that and make a bit of a splash in this tournament. No real value. So.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? Do you think that Leicester can qualify?
It's a plus for them that they are playing the second leg on their turf again. The same thing like the last time. If we are talking about standings, Sevilla are on top of Atletico Madrid in La Liga, but that doesn't have anything to do with Champions League. If it is for Atletico Madrid to win home, which I'm predicting that outcome, in the second leg, Simeone style defensively, no chance for Leicester to go inside to find the back of the net. It's hard to play against Atletico Madrid on a double leg match. they will go all in in the first leg, and after that, in the second leg, they will defend. So I think that is the end of the road for Leicester, and Atletico Madrid will qualify further. But I hate their style of play. I prefer Leicester to go, but I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to quickly read through the odds here of the 4 matches we've got. So Atletico Madrid, 1.36, draw 5.75, Leicester 12. We're powered by Bet365 for our Champions League coverage. These odds I'm reading. Bayern Munich 1.94, draw 3.86, Real Madrid 4.33, Juventus 2.75, draw 3.4, Barcelona 2.88. So very close. And then Bayern Munich 1.7, draw 4.5, Monaco 5.25. So really, it looks like the closest match that we've got here is Juventus versus Barcelona. Now, Juventus, if we're going to start talking about the outrights here, are sort of like, you know, everybody, a lot of people's dark horses, and certainly our friend Stuart from Tips for HQ, he is Team Juventus all the way, and he thinks that they'll get the job done. Would you say then there is value on that 2.75? Can Juventus beat Barcelona, or at this stage, is it just too tough to call? Going to take that question to Alex.
It's tough to call from now. I believe that Juventus will make it really tough for Barcelona to qualify further. At the first view, of course, that everyone will say Barcelona to qualify further, but it's tougher than expected. I think that Juventus has more chances than Barcelona right now. It's 1 month away, more than 3 weeks at least away, this first leg. And all depends on the first leg that will be played at Juventus. I fancy Juventus to qualify, but I think that we should expect time to go by and to see what will they will. For example, Barcelona is fighting with Real Madrid neck and neck right now in La Liga. Juventus is marching towards the Scudetto in Italy, so they will be fully concentrated on Champions League. Of course, when it comes to Champions League, both teams will be very prepared. But I give more chances to Juventus than Barcelona.
Right. Okay. Interesting. And I tell you what, obviously Juventus will have fresh in their mind, you know, the way Barcelona performed their second leg on their turf. Barcelona have that advantage this time as well. They'll know the deficit. So Juventus are going to have to come out of the starting blocks and really use their home advantage, to their advantage. And really, I think this could also be a really goal-heavy match, Juventus versus Barcelona. Do you think we're going to see a lot of goals here in this match, Martin?
Well, I think this is a fascinating tie because for me, it pits the best attack in the world against the best defense in the world. Messi and Suarez get all the plaudits playing up front for Barcelona, and rightly so, they're amazing. But Bonucci, Barzagli and Chiellini at the back for Juventus are just such a well-oiled machine, and I just think they really could cancel MSN out. So it's going to be a really interesting tie. You both made points that I would definitely second. You're saying that Juventus can learn from how PSG played in that first leg. So I think there's value in Juventus at 2.75 to win the first leg. I'm not sure they'll qualify. I'd fancy Barcelona to qualify over the 2 legs, but I think maybe Juventus can win that first game. And, but like Alex said, it does play into Juventus' advantage that they are well clear at the top of Serie A. Whereas you look over in La Liga and Real Madrid and Barcelona are really battling it out. That's going to count in Bayern Munich's favour as well. They're running away with the Bundesliga, whereas Real really have to go all out in the league as well. So that could be a mark against the La Liga sides. But really, really fascinating tie. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, and talking about Bayern Munich as well, you know, we do have value for their home win, 1.94. Both of you make a very good point about the title race between Barcelona and Real Madrid. So for that case, if you know, for the people who like to play the outrights here, or the 3-way line, 1.94 for the Bayern Munich win could be quite interesting. Alex, I know you're more of a totals guy, but Bayern Munich to win, could that be an early bet we can book in right now? Bayern Munich to win 1.94.
But yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. Bayern Munich on their turf are really, really strong, and Real Madrid, as the statistics are saying, are not so strong on the road. but it's a clash. I think that is a better game in terms of how big the teams are than the other one, than Juventus versus Barcelona. I don't know. I like that. I see it, but Bayern Munich again, they are qualified. They will win the title because they are 10 points clear of second place Leipzig. Real Madrid has also a game in hand in La Liga, and they will have more matches than Bayern Munich to play till that match. So and depends. Let's see that Cristiano Ronaldo this year he's not good at all. Benzema, so and so. I think that Bayern Munich will qualify further, and I think that they will start on the right foot on winning the first leg on their turn.
All right, just going to do a shout out to Stay Up, and it says, depending on injuries, Barcelona will qualify, but Juventus will win the first leg. I'm sort of in agreement with you on it as well. And the price of Juventus 2.75, you can add a sort of a draw no bet option for those who want to tread a bit more carefully. But yeah, I think Juventus on their turf can get the job done. They'll know that they'll have to before heading to Barcelona. Now, interestingly, the two qualify markets. So the bookies, you're with the bookies there, Stay Up. Barcelona to qualify 1.55. The market though that I find, and then Alex, you were saying about Bayern Munich to qualify. That's decent odds there, 1.71. You can get that for Real Madrid 2.25. If we look at the Atletico and Leicester match, Atletico to qualify 1.17, heavily in favour of Atletico Madrid there. Value on Leicester if you think they can do it, 4.5, but maybe not the right bet there. But we do also have some.
What are the odds for Monaco to win?
Yeah,
for Monaco to qualify, what are
2.63.
Saving the best to last, Alex. Dortmund 1.57 and Monaco 2.62. And my question is, over the two legs, I think that Monaco are likely to get the job done.
Yeah, I really fancy
absolutely
the side. They got lots of very good players. I mean, that forward Mbappe is just outrageously talented, and you put him up front with Falcao. Their two wing backs are just full of energy. Bernardo Silva's got great delivery. I just think they've got danger lurking all over the team. I think they'll concede goals, but I think they'll score a ton as well. So they should prove that on aggregate.
Yeah, I feel in general we're going to see a lot of goals in the quarterfinals, and Stay Up as well is also saying Bayern and Real Madrid will be all about goals when it comes to betting.
The only problem with Monaco is they don't have the bench of Dortmund in big numbers. If they will have problem with injuries, that might count a lot for them. Of course, their first 11 is absolutely amazing. Valère Germain, Thomas Lemar, not to talk about Mbappe, not to talk about Falcao, but I think that they don't have the bench as equal as their first 11. So if they will have problems with injuries in the next 3 weeks, that might count a lot for them. Of course, that if you think about it, Dortmund right now has big problems with injuries. Götze is missing all the season. Right now, Marco Reus is injured. Aubameyang is injured also. So there are some important players missing at Dortmund, but I think that till the moment of that match, they will come back.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about the outrights or futures, depending on what side of the world you're on. Barcelona lead. I think they took the lead, obviously, with their PSG victory. You can get those for 3.75 at Bet365, followed by Bayern Munich 4.2, Real Madrid 6. It does go as high as 6.5 with other bookies. Atletico Madrid 7, Borussia Dortmund 11, Juventus 11 at Bet365, but Stan James, you get 13, Ladbrokes 12. Monaco, interestingly, 17 at Ladbrokes, 15 at Bet365, and then Leicester there, the underdog right now, 41 at Bet365. So I know Stuart from Tipster HQ is team Juventus there, so not bad odds, 13. Is there a dark horse? Because sometimes the best way to play futures, I know this is the way that you like to play it, Martin, is it's sort of hedging your bets a little bit, you know, taking a dark horse, maybe even like a Monaco or a Juventus, and then pitting it with a sort of like a favorite, like a sort of a Bayern Munich or a Barcelona or something like that. How are you going to play the outrights, Martin?
Yeah, I'd go exactly like that. I think Barcelona are looking like the favourites, deservedly so for me. After that comeback against PSG, they'll have all the momentum, and on their day, they can just demolish anybody, as they showed. So I do fancy Barcelona now, actually. But
Ooh.
I quite like Atletico if I'm going for a long shot. They know how to get the job done in this competition.
Wow.
They've got a decent draw against Leicester. I think you get them in a semi-final with a team like Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's the one team that can knock them out. They've already beaten Bayern Munich in this year's competition. They topped a group that had Bayern Munich in it. I think if they get through and play someone like Bayern are going to be in real trouble. So that would be a dark horse for me. I think this is a step too far for a young Monaco side. I think if you put them up against a Barcelona or a Bayern Munich, they would lose. I can't see Leicester doing it. I can't see Dortmund doing it. So I think for me, the winner's going to come from any of the three Spanish teams or Juventus. And if Barcelona get past Juventus, I think it'll be them.
Yeah, well, Alex looks like he disagrees there. He was almost uncomfortable. I think it was at the mention of Atletico Madrid. He was like ready to go.
No, I hope not Atletico Madrid will win the competition. I never liked their style of play. Also in Leverkusen, not to say the stupidities right now, our tips they solved our tips in the negative way. I think that Bayern Munich, for me, will win a Champions League this year. And as a dark horse, I'm going for Monaco. If they will pass Dortmund and they will have a draw with Atletico or Leicester, they have a chance to go in the final. And after all, in the final, you never know what will happen. It's one match, and the winner takes it all.
Yeah, sure does. Sure does. Do you know what? I've got a lean as well to Bayern Munich. Have had all season long, to be honest with you, sticking with the Bayern Munich. Not sure who would mind. Maybe a Juventus. You know, Stuart's convincing me there for that Juventus. But I do like Monaco as well. But I kind of agree with Martin there. Are they just a little too young? You know, could they pose a serious threat next year? Now, interesting, because Martin, you said about the winning nationality being Spain or Spanish. 1.73 at Bet365. You can bet on Spain being the winning nationality.
Amazing bet.
Could be something. I know. I thought you might like that one, because I was like, oh, I wonder what the odds are going to be for that one. But not bad, considering you've got the three Spanish teams in there with them in the top four. Obviously, and
none of them have been drawn against each other as well. So
exactly.
All three of those could be in the semi-final. And
could that be the best?
I think Real Madrid could do it against. Last time they drew Bayern Munich in this competition, they beat them 5-0 on aggregate and went through. They play good counter-attacking football, and they play in a more competitive league, so they could be up for it. And Barcelona are obviously the favourites. Atletico should get past Leicester. That's a great bet to me. That looks really good.
There you go. You're welcome, Martin. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll be on that.
I was like, I know they've got the odds done. Okay, the great stuff. That wraps up the Champions League draw. I'm super excited. I think it's just going to be an awesome week. I can feel it. It's going to be just as good as what we've previously had. So I'm really excited, hoping the time is going to fly. So guys, have a great weekend. Best of luck with all your bets. Bet responsibly. Subscribe. And obviously we will back next week with a whole new host of matches to preview and make money on. Best of luck, Martin and Alex, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. See you next week. Good luck. Good luck, and subscribe, guys. Subscribe.